चुप चुप.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Disha. How are you?
Ma'am, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm also good, dear.
मैम अस्मी won't be attending class because यहाँ पर actually बारिश हो रहा है और उसका connection weak है it seems, so she won't be attending today.
Okay. And what about Anavadya?
Ma'am, I don't know about her.
Oh, please.
अस्मी का message आया था तो इसलिए.
Okay. Please call Anavadya and ask her.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
कौन है अनुवद्या?
Keep quiet.
Yes, ma'am. She's joining.
Okay. Okay. So today we are going to start our 22nd chapter, that is chemical coordination and integration. Okay.
Yes,
Fine.
ma'am.
Okay. So the first topic of this chapter is endocrine glands and hormones. Okay. So what is the difference between endocrine glands and exocrine glands, Risha? Do you have idea? Do you have any idea?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, could you repeat the question?
Yeah. What's the difference between endocrine glands and exocrine glands?
Ma'am, in endocrine glands, the hormones are released directly into the bloodstream.
Yeah.
Uh, they don't have ducts also,
Yeah.
and exocrine glands they are released into the
Duct-like structures.
yeah,
Hmm.
they have ducts and they are directly released to that organ.
Into the ducts, and from those ducts they are transported to different organs where they are required. Okay. Okay. So endocrine glands are the glands that lack ducts, means they don't have any ducts. Therefore they are also called as ductless glands. And the things that are secreted from these endocrine glands are known as hormones. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Like the definition of hormone is that they are like they are non-nutrient chemicals. So if a question is asked that the hormones are nutrients also, nutrient like they have nutritional value, then you have to like say no, it's not correct, because they are non-nutrient chemicals, but they act as intercellular messengers, and they are produced in very small quantity. Okay. Like a smaller amount of hormone is sufficient to do its work. Okay. So vertebrates, like in case of invertebrates, a very simple endocrine system is present. Only a few hormones will be the member of this endocrine system. But in case of vertebrates, many like large number of chemicals are there that act as hormones, and they provide perform different functions in invertebrates. So now Anuvadya have joined.
No, ma'am.
Better tell her to join fast. Nito,
Yes, ma'am. 2 minutes.
she will remain behind. Hmm. Risha and Shreya, please on your videos, beta.
Uh, Ma'am, I cannot on the video today.
What happened?
There are clothes hanged in my room, that's why. Because it was
Okay,
raining.
okay, fine. What happened, Disha? How long she will take time to?
Ma'am, I texted her, but she isn't seeing the text. I'll just call her again.
Hmm. Please go. Okay, she joined. I think she have joined. Hi, Anavadia. Hello, Anavadia.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, beta. Hi, Shreya.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, beta. Today we have started chapter 22nd. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, human endocrine system. Endocrine glands, like they are producing a lot of hormones that diffuse directly into the tissues or cells that are located in the different parts of our body, and all the endocrine glands together, known as we can say together make endocrine system. Okay, so you have to learn the name of different endocrine glands like pituitary gland, pineal, thyroid, adrenal, pancreas, parathyroid, thymus, and gonads. That is testes in case of male and ovaries in case of female. They are the parts of endocrine system in our body. So this diagram explains us, like gives an idea about the location of each endocrine gland. So this is the hypothalamus, pineal, and pituitary. They all will be located in the this region of, like, in brain. This is thyroid and parathyroid, that will be in the throat. This is thymus gland, that will be between अपना we can say rib cage or ribs के बीच में it will be there. Their adrenal gland, that will be present on which organ? Which organ is this? Which organ?
Kidney.
Yeah, they will be present on the top of kidney. They are pancreas that are present in between these kidneys. They are the ovaries in case of females, and these are the testes in males. They are reproductive organs or gonads. Okay, and there are few some there are some other organs also that will act as endocrine glands, or they will not act as endocrine gland, but they will be able to produce few hormones. Okay, so they are exception, they are able to produce hormones as well, except that endocrine glands. Okay, gastrointestinal tract, liver, kidney, heart, and heart. Okay, so the first portion is hypothalamus. Okay, so what is the structure, or how does this hypothalamus looks? Let's see this diagram first. This is hypothalamus. There are some neuron like structures present in the hypothalamus known as hypothalamic neurons. This is responsible for a like kind of circulation known as portal circulation. I have added the definition for this. What is this? Then this is the posterior pituitary region, and this is anterior region of pituitary gland. Okay. Okay, now what is hypothalamus? It is present in the basal side of diencephalon, that is the forebrain. And what is its function is it regulates a lot of functions like it consists of many types of neurosecretory cells. They are known as nuclei that produces hormones. Okay, so what are these neurosecretory cells? These neuron like cells, they are responsible for production of hormones. Okay, so these what is the function of the hormones that are produced by hypothalamus is they are responsible for regulating the synthesis as well as secretion of pituitary hormones. So basically the pituitary hormones are regulated by, produced as well as synthesized as well as secreted with the help of which hormones? Hypothalamus hormones. So pituitary hormones are regulated by the hormones that are produced by hypothalamus. Okay, So the hypothalamus hormones are of two types, or the hormones produced by hypothalamus may be categorized into two types. First is the releasing hormone. So what do you mean by these releasing hormones? They will stimulate the secretion of pituitary hormones. So try to understand this concept that the hormones that are produced by the pituitary gland will be regulated, or we can say controlled, or क्या कहेंगे हम, they will be dependent on the hormones produced by the hypothalamus. So there are two types of hormones that are produced by hypothalamus to control the hormones that are produced from pituitary gland or pituitary hormones. The first is the releasing hormone. They will stimulate the secretion, means they will increase the secretion or start the secretion from pituitary hormones, secretion of pituitary hormones, whereas the second category involves the inhibiting hormone that will inhibit the secretion of pituitary hormones. Okay, so this thing you have to remember. What is the position of hypothalamus, what is its role, and what are the two types of hormones produced by them. Okay, let's take an example. The hypothalamus hormone known as gonadotropin. What's the function of gonadotropin? If the question is asked, then you have to answer. It is responsible for releasing hormone known as GnRH. Okay, that is like it's a name of an hormone that stimulates the pituitary synthesis and release of gonadotropins. अब समझ में आ रहा है? गोनेडोट्रोपिन रिलीजिंग हार्मोन, शॉर्ट में इसको जीएनआरएच कहेंगे. व्हाट्स द, इट इज द हार्मोन दैट इज produced from hypothalamus, and what it will do, it will stimulate the pituitary synthesis and release of gonadotropins. So these gonadotropins will be produced from this pituitary gland, but its synthesis will be controlled by another hormone known as gonadotropin releasing hormone that will be released from hypothalamus. Now it's clear, it's confusing.
It's clear.
It's clear? Shreya and Vadya?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Whereas the second hormone known as somatostatin, it is also produced from hypothalamus, but what does it do? It will inhibits the release of growth hormone from the pituitary. Okay. So two category of hormones, it's clear, releasing hormone and inhibitory hormone. So this gonadotropin releasing hormone is an example of releasing hormone because it stimulates the release of the gonadotropins from pituitary gland. Whereas this somatostatin is an example of inhibitory hormone or inhibiting hormone because it will inhibit the release of growth hormones from pituitary. So if a question is asked, give an example of one inhibitory and one releasing hormone that are produced from the hypothalamus, then will it be possible for you to answer this question? Answer. You will
Ma'am,
be.
could you repeat?
Yeah. If what happened, Risha?
Ma'am,
My voice is breaking.
a little. For me, I guess.
Okay. Anvadya and Risha, my voice is breaking, beta.
Yeah, ma'am, I guess it's for me.
Oh, Shreya and Anvadya, my voice is breaking.
No, ma'am, it's okay.
Okay, then it means I don't have any internet issue. That's why I was cross checking. Okay. So the hormones that are originating in the hypothalamic neurons, that is these structures, they will, so the hormones will be produced in these structures, and how these hormones will be passed from there to other parts. So they will pass through the axons. You remember the structure of neurons?
Yes, ma'am.
Axons, dendrite, sara structure, I think you remember. I have explained you very well. Okay, so these hormones will pass through the axons, these structures, and are released from their nerve endings, that is from the bottom portion. I think मैंने ये समझाया भी था तुम लोगों को, जैसे nerve impulse कैसे होती है starting से end तक. In the same way, the hormones will pass from the axons and will be released from the nerve endings. Okay, and from here these hormones will reach to the pituitary gland, through a portal circulatory system and will regulate the functions of the anterior pituitary. So now this is the hypothalamus, and the hormones will be produced in hypothalamic neurons. From here, these hormones will be released into this portal circulation with at the basal portion of these neurons. From here, they will be released into this anterior pituitary, and they will control this anterior region of pituitary gland. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what is portal system? A portal system between hypothalamus and the is present between the hypothalamus and the anterior pituitary gland. And what is the main like function is the hypothalamus secretes releasing or inhibiting hormone into the blood, because ये ductless हैं, they are carried directly to the anterior pituitary and stimulate or inhibit the secretion of specific hormone with the help of this portal circulatory system. ठीक है? It's very easy. Just try to understand this diagram. This is hypothalamus, and in this region of hypothalamus, known as hypothalamic neurons, the hormones will be produced in the axon region. From axon, it will be passed into this portal circulation. It's a collection of veins, we can say, through this basal portion, or we can say dendrite ke through, they will be released into this portion, and from this portion it will be entering into this anterior portion of pituitary, and thus this anterior portion of the pituitary is controlled by the hormones that are produced by the hypothalamus. Okay. And now this is all about anterior portion of pituitary. Now what about the posterior portion of pituitary? So this posterior portion of pituitary is under direct neural regulation of the hypothalamus. Means there is no need of this renal circulation. Directly these neurons directly control this posterior portion of pituitary. You can see in diagram here, this renal portion is present, renal circulation is present to control the anterior portion, whereas in case of posterior portion of pituitary, this neuron is like directly controlling this pituitary, posterior portion of pituitary. It's clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the second gland is pituitary gland. So how does this pituitary gland looks like is, I have added two diagrams for this pituitary gland. So it is divided into three regions. The one, this pink color region, or this region, we can say it is known as pars distalis or posterior pituitary. This middle green region, or here this blue region, is known as pars intermedia, and this portion, or this blue portion, it is known as pars nervosa. Okay. And this pars distalis, pars intermedia, and pars tubularis, where is this? This is the tubular like structure is known as pars tubularis. They all contribute anterior pituitary, and this pars and this is only, like we can say, क्या कहेंगे इसको, it is an posterior pituitary. Okay, it is divided into these structures. Okay, so what you have to remember in this, where this, at which place in our body this pituitary gland is located. So you should remember it is located in a bony cavity that is known as sella tertia, and it is attached to hypothalamus with the help of an stalk. So यहाँ पे you can see pituitary, this is an pituitary gland. It is connected to hypothalamus with the help of an stalk. ये stalk like structure, this stalk like structure is act as a connection between this and hypothalamus. Okay. Now anatomically it is divided into two portions, adenohypophysis and neurohypophysis. So दो portion में it is divided into two portions. So what are the parts that are involved, or we can say adenohypophysis? It involves two portions known as pars distalis and pars intermedia. So this is pars distalis. Okay, pars distalis and pars intermedia, the दो portion, we can see this is pars distalis, this is pars intermedia. They are the part of adenohypophysis. Okay. And so what is this pars distalis region? This is the region of pituitary that is commonly known as anterior pituitary. And what does it produces? This thing you have to remember. Pars distalis is also known as anterior portion of pituitary, and it produces growth hormones, prolactin. So you have to remember about both anterior and posterior portion of pituitary because they will produce different hormones. So you should not get confused that anterior portion will produce which hormone and posterior portion will produce which hormone. Okay, so learn it thoroughly. Okay, so anterior portion will produce growth hormones, prolactin, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, luteinizing hormone, and follicle stimulating hormone. Whereas the pars intermedia, it secretes only one hormone that is known as melanocyte, that will melanocyte stimulating hormone. Whereas in case of humans, this pars intermedia is almost merged with the pars distalis. So there is not any very much differentiation between pars distalis and pars intermedia in case of humans. So yeah, we can say if we consider this pars distalis in case of humans only, then this melanocyte stimulating hormone will be there. Okay. Now the second portion is neurohypophysis. Try to make a flow chart for this. कि आपका ये पिट्यूटरी ग्लैंड है और वी कैन से पिट्यूटरी हार्मोन टू पोर्शन में डिवाइड होंगे, एडिनो हाइपोफाइसिस, न्यूरो हाइपोफाइसिस. देन डिवाइड एडिनो हाइपोफाइसिस इनटू टू, पास डिस्टेलिस एंड पास इंटरमीडिया. Right under pars distalis which hormone it will be secreting, pars intermedia will be secreting which hormone. And then on second next side make one flow chart also that the second portion is neurohypophysis, and it is also known as posterior pituitary. What is its function is it stores and releases only two hormones known as oxytocin and vasopressin. And if I'm sure that a question will be asked, in which situation these oxytocin and vasopressins will be secreted. So they will be synthesized by hypothalamus and are transported axonally to neurohypophysis. तो जब हमको बहुत डर लगता है ना कभी भी, then yeah, vasopressin and oxytocin, I think they will be secreted at that time. एक 1 minute, हाँ, give me 1 minute. Let me अभी पढ़ाते पढ़ाते मेरे दिमाग में एक क्वेश्चन आया. I think this oxytocin and vasopressin will be secreted when we got scared. I think they will be produced. 1 minute, huh? Okay. I have shared in group. Please see the information related to this oxytocin and vasopressin. Everyone got the message? My voice is audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Hmm. ठीक है. Now, when the growth hormone is secreted, then it will stimulate the, like if the growth hormone is secreted in more amount, what it is, where like more than the amount in which it is required, then what will it do? It will stimulate the abnormal growth of body that will result in gigantism. It's a disease in which the body, like the person or the person that is like suffering from this disease will look very giant in size. It will बहुत लंबा और अजीब सा, it will look, it start looking very different from other organ human beings. Okay, and if this growth hormone is like we can say secreted in the amount where, like low amount, where in comparison to the quantity what is minimal amount, or we can say the required amount say come, if this will be released, then the person will look stunted growth, and we can say the person will look dwarfism. So you have seen that there are many men and women, they will look very small in size. उनका एज भी बढ़ेगा तो their size will remain same. So this, that problem is because of low, like less secretion of growth hormone. And if growth hormone is secreted in excess, then the disease is known as gigantism. So if a question is asked, gigantism like is a result of which type of hormone deficiency or over secretion of the hormone? The growth hormone. And this dwarfism, or we can say pituitary dwarfism, is because of low secretion of growth hormone. Okay. Okay. Now, if the growth hormone is secreted in excess amount in adults, especially in the middle age, जब वो they will like वो बच्चे भी नहीं हैं and adult भी नहीं है, but they are in middle age, then it will result in severe disfiguration. That is, आपके face में distraction आ जाएगा और the face will start looking in different way. This is known as acromegaly. So basically what you have to do, you have to make one chart, you have to write name of the disease in one column and symptoms in other column, and third may you have to write deficiency or over secretion of hormone. Okay, then you have to write in that column that this disease is caused by deficiency or less secretion of this hormone, or this disease is caused by excess secretion of this hormone. Okay, so what is
Yes.
this acromegaly? Because of excess secretion of growth hormone, the face of a person will start looking differently from normal face. So this is a very severe complication. Because of this, a person can die like before its age. Okay. Now, thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, so one more thing you should know about prolactin. If it is asked, what is the role of prolactin? So this prolactin is responsible for maintaining, or we can say it is responsible for growth of mammary glands and formation of milk in women's. Okay. So if a question is asked, the milk production in women is because of which hormone, then we have to answer it is because of prolactin. Okay. Now, thyroid stimulating hormone the stimulates the synthesis and secretion of thyroid hormones. Okay, so thyroid hormones are basically we can say under the control of thyroid stimulating hormone that is responsible for synthesis of thyroid hormones from thyroid gland. And ACTH, what is the full form of this ACTH? अभी यहाँ पे आया था ना, adrenocorticotropic hormone. Okay, so this adrenocorticotropic hormone, what does it do? It stimulates the synthesis and secretion of steroid hormone known as glucocorticoids that are produced from the adrenal portion of the adrenal cortex, and luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. They are responsible for stimulating gonadal activity, and they are also known as gonadotropins. So अगर आपको पूछा जाए like give an example or give names of two gonadotropins, then you have to write luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, and glucocorticoids means the hormones that will produce steroids. Okay, so in case of male, this luteinizing hormone is responsible for stimulating the synthesis and secretion of hormones known as androgen and androgens from testes. So अब इसमें what you have to remember is you have to remember the name of the male hormones and they are secreted from which portion and uh, which hormone is responsible for their stimulation. So luteinizing hormone is responsible for stimulating secretion and synthesis and secretion of a male hormone known as androgens, and these androgens will be produced from which portion? Testes of the male. Okay, whereas in like in males, this follicle stimulating hormones and androgens, they are responsible for regulating spermatogenesis. So spermatogenesis is the process of formation of sperms in male that will fertilize with the eggs of female to produce the embryo or zygote during the fertilization process. Okay, it's clear till now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
This is an interesting chapter, but there are a lot of things in this chapter which you have to learn. You have to learn the name of different hormones and different organs. Their, like, if they become excess तो कौन सी disease होगी, low हो गया तो कौन सी disease होगी, ये सारा सब कुछ. But it's interesting hormone, interesting chapter. In females, what is the role of luteinizing hormone in females? In females, this luteinizing hormone induces ovulation of fully mature follicles. That is, it is responsible for induction of ovulation in females, and it also maintains and the corpus luteum, that is a layer present in the आपके follicles में, that are formed from the remnants of the Graafian follicles after ovulation. So basically what you have to remember is this luteinizing hormone is responsible for induction of ovulation in females, and follicle stimulation hormone what will do in females, it will stimulate the growth and development of ovarian follicles in females, whereas uh, melanin stimulating hormone that will act on melanocytes, that is melanin containing cells, and regulate the pigmentation of skin. So this question is asked most of the time, that this pigmentation, or we can say color of the skin, is because of which hormone? Then it is because of melanin. ठीक है, मिलानिन एक पिगमेंट है जो हमारे स्किन कलर को मेंटेन करने के लिए रेस्पॉन्सिबल करता है. ओके, now one more hormone is oxytocin. What is the function of this oxytocin? It acts on the smooth muscles of our body and stimulate their contraction. So in female, it stimulates a vigorous contraction of uterus at the time of childbirth and milk ejection from the mammary gland. So yeah, oxytocin or vasopressin जो है ना, these are the hormones. Basically this oxytocin in case of female, at the time of their labor pain or at the time when they are going to give birth to a baby, at that time this oxytocin will be released in a more amount so that their uterus muscles can get contracted so that the child can come out easily. Okay, whereas vasopressin, it mainly acts in the kidney portion में, and it stimulates the reabsorption of water and electrolyte by the distal tubules. So you remember the function of kidney and the diagram of that glomerular filtration, उसमें we know that जितना हमारा filtrate होता है यूरिन का पूरा, like only a small portion of that is released out. I don't know exact the percentage मुझे याद नहीं है. I think 1% था. How much percent of urine is discharged and the rest of all will be reabsorbed in this distal tubule? किसी को याद है? In that chapter the percentage was given कि जितना भी किडनी का फिल्ट्रेट होगा उसका स्मॉल पोर्शन, आई थिंक 1% ही था शायद, 1% is released in form of urine and rest of all the portion of the filtrate done by kidney will be reabsorbed at the distal tubules. किसी को याद है?
Mm, I don't think anything was given.
नहीं था बेटा, I remember कि था कि only small portion of, अब I don't know what percentage or small portion something was there कि like kidney बहुत सारा चीज filter करती है पूरा in one day, but all the thing that the kidney filter doesn't go out of our body in form of urine. Only a small portion will be released out from our body in form of urine, and rest of all things will be reabsorbed at the distal tubule portion of this nephron. So वहां पे this vasopressin is mainly responsible for reabsorption of the water and the electrolytes. Okay, so the loss of water through urine, that is diuresis, will be prevented or reduced by the action of this vasopressin. Okay, therefore it is also known as antidiuretic hormone. So ये एक बहुत, it's a very important question. uh, like there is a hormone that is known as antidiuretic hormone, or out of the following which is also known as antidiuretic hormone. So you should reply vasopressin is the other name for antidiuretic hormone, or antidiuretic hormone is the another name of vasopressin. Okay, now an impairment affecting synthesis or release of antidiuretic hormone release in decreased ability of kidney to conserve water. So if a question is asked what is the reason for like diabetes insipidus in humans, then you have to answer if the loss of function of this antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin will result in decreased ability of kidney to conserve water, that leads to excess loss of water and dehydration. This is known as diabetes insipidus. So there are two types of diabetes: diabetes mellitus and diabetes insipidus. You know that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this diabetes insipidus is basically because of loss of function of antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin, because of which a large amount of water will be lost from the kidneys and dehydration हो जाएगा, and this is known as diabetes insipidus. Okay, जो reabsorption वाला process था distal tubule में glomerulus के, it will be affected, or we can say it will be stopped because this vasopressin start malfunctioning. Okay. Now the pineal gland. Okay, so this pineal gland will be located where? It will be located on the dorsal side of the forebrain. So this is the pineal gland. This is cerebellum. This is the we can say forebrain का portion है. This is midbrain and this is hindbrain. So forebrain के distal side में this pineal gland will be situated. Okay, so what is the main hormone that is secreted by this pineal gland is that it will secrete an hormone known as melatonin. What is the role of melatonin? It plays a very important role in regulation of 24-hour rhythm of our body. So like it's a mindset in our body, in our mind, or we can say in our body. If we अगर हम दिन में चाहे कितना we'll try, it is not possible for us to sleep for 10 or 12 hours in a day. 1 minute. Yeah. Okay. So what are the hormones that will be produced from this pineal gland? Melanin, melatonin. Okay. So if we try to sleep for 10 or 12 hours in a day, it is not possible for us to sleep. But in night we can sleep easily, because there is an we can say internal cycle fixed in our brain that we have to sleep in night and we have to do work in morning. this all is maintained by an hormone known as melatonin that is produced from this pineal gland. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so along with this melatonin also influence metabolism, pigmentation and menstrual cycle in women as well as. Okay. Now the next gland is, so everything is clear till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the next gland is thyroid gland. So this thyroid gland is composed of two lobes that are located on either side of the trachea. Okay. So this is your trachea. Okay. Trachea पता है ना आपके इसमें throat के नीचे का portion is known as trachea. Okay. And this is the thyroid gland. It is present in two lobes. This is one lobe. This is another lobe. दिस इज वोकल कॉर्ड आपकी जिसकी वजह से आवाज आती है ठीक है एंड दे आर parathyroid glands that will be present in pairs in each lobe of this आपके thyroid gland में ठीक है should I proceed
Yes, ma'am.
okay 1 minute huh Yeah. So the thyroid gland is composed of two lobes that are present on either side of the trachea. So these both lobes are interconnected with the help of a very thin connective tissue known as isthmus. Okay, this question can be asked. Okay, that both the lobes of thyroid gland will be connected with the help of which structure, or we can say which type of tissue. Then it is known as isthmus. Okay. And this thyroid gland is composed of follicles and stromal tissues. So what are the two types of tissues that will be present in thyroid gland, or thyroid gland is composed of which type of tissues? Then you have to answer follicles and stromal tissues. Okay. Now each thyroid follicle is composed of follicular cells. So like दो type के tissues से it will be formed. So tissue, first type tissue follicles, it is composed of follicular cells that enclosed in like enclosed a cavity, and the follicular cells will synthesize two types of hormones known as T4 and T3, that is tetraiodothyronine or thyroxine and triiodothyronine T3. T3, so what you have to remember is T3 and T4 are the cells, or we can say are the hormones that will be produced from the follicular cells, or we can say follicular region of the thyroid gland. Okay. And stromal tissues से कौन से बनेंगे वो भी हम I will tell you. ठीक है. So what is the main thing that is responsible or that is essential for normal functioning of thyroid is iodine. Okay, so there should be an adequate amount of iodine in our body so that this thyroid gland can work properly. Isliye you have seen that if there is a deficiency in anybody for this iodine, तो आपका thyroid will start malfunctioning. किसी की बॉडी में अगर आयोडीन की कंसंट्रेशन एक्सेस हो गई तो भी थायराइड हो जाएगी, और किसी के बॉडी में अगर आयोडीन की क्वांटिटी लेस देन हो गई, व्हाट इज द लाइक मिनिमम अमाउंट which should be present in our body, then also the thyroid will get affected and like thyroid gland ka problem will start. Okay, so what will happen if there is deficiency of iodine in our diet? Then it will result in hypothyroidism and enlargement of the thyroid gland. It is commonly known as goiter. Okay, so goiter is a thyroid disease. It will be caused because of deficiency of iodine in our diet, and it is also known as hypothyroidism, deficiency of thyroid, deficiency of iodine. Okay. So hypothyroidism during pregnancy, it will cause defective development or and maturation of growing baby that leads to stunted growth, mental retardation, low intelligence quotient, abnormal skin and बहरा या गूंगा, डेफ एंड म्यूटिज्म भी हो सकता है. So deficiency of iodine in thyroid gland will produce a disease known as goiter or hypothyroidism, and deficiency of iodine in the pregnant woman can cause so many effects on the baby. Okay. So in case of an adult woman, hypothyroidism may cause menstrual cycle to become irregular. And now one minute, huh? Okay. So if there will be a cancer in the thyroid gland, or because of development of nodules of the thyroid glands, the rate of synthesis as well as secretion of the thyroid hormone will be increased to increased to abnormal high levels that will lead to another condition known as hyperthyroidism, which would adversely affect the body physiology. Okay. So aapka goiter, you have to remember, goiter is a disease that is caused because of hypothyroidism, that is deficiency of thyroid hormone because iodine kam tha, because of deficiency of iodine. Now if the thyroid hormone will be released in excess amount, out of excess amount more than what is required, then this is known as hyperthyroidism. Now what are the effects of hyperthyroidism? It will affect the physiology of the body. So the another term known as exophthalmic goiter, it is a form of hyperthyroidism. So normal goiter, it is a disease of hypothyroidism. Hypo means less. Okay. And exophthalmic goiter, it is a disease of hyperthyroidism that is characterized by enlargement of thyroid gland, protrusion of the eyeballs, increased basal metabolic rate and weight loss, and also known as Graves disease. So there are two diseases related to thyroid gland. One is Graves disease and second is Graves disease, or we can say exophthalmic goiter, and the second is normal goiter. So Graves disease is because of hyperthyroidism, whereas goiter is because of hypothyroidism. ठीक है? ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now parathyroid gland. So parathyroid gland kahan the? I have shown you in diagram. These are the parathyroid gland. They will be present in pairs in both sides of both lobes of thyroid glands. Okay. Parathyroid gland. In case of humans, there are 4 parathyroid glands that will be present on the back side of the thyroid gland. They will be present in pairs, one in each of the 2 lobes of thyroid gland. And what are the, in this chapter, what you have to remember? You have to remember the name of the gland, the hormones that are produced by the gland, and where this gland is located, and what are the disease related to these glands. Bas, what I will suggest you all to make a table. First column should be for the gland, second should be its position, ye kahan present hai, third should be the hormone that will be produced by the glands, and fourth column mein what are the disease that will be that will occur because of deficiency or excess of the hormones. बस इतना एक चार्ट बनाओगे, then this chapter will be very easy and interesting. ऐसा थ्योरी में ये याद नहीं हो पाएगा बेटा, कंफ्यूजन हो जाएगा, इसलिए try to make one table and try to learn this chapter in that manner. तो डिजीज का नाम याद रखो और उसके आगे ये याद रखो कि किस हार्मोन की डेफिशिएंसी या एक्सेस होने की वजह से ये होता है. ठीक है? Okay. So this parathyroid gland secretes a peptide hormone known as parathyroid hormone. Okay. Parathyroid gland secretes a hormone known as parathyroid hormone.
And the secretion of this parathyroid hormone is regulated basically by circulating levels of calcium ions. Okay, so this parathyroid, जैसे आपका thyroid gland is regulated by the iodine concentration, similarly this parathyroid gland का secretion is affected by the calcium levels, calcium ion levels in our body. So parathyroid hormone increases the calcium levels in the body. 1 minute. Circulating levels of calcium ions. So parathyroid hormone increases the calcium levels in the body. These parathyroid hormone acts on bones and stimulate the process of bone reabsorption, demineralization. Okay. Also stimulate reabsorption of calcium by the renal tubules and increases calcium absorption from the digested food. It is thus clear that parathyroid stimulating hormone is a hypercalcemic hormone, that is it increases the blood calcium levels along with TCT. It plays a significant role in calcium balance. Okay, so what is the main function of this parathyroid hormone is it is responsible for maintaining the concentration of calcium in our body. So this parathyroid hormone is responsible for sorry, for stimulating the reabsorption as well as increasing the level of calcium in our body. And why the calcium is very much required in our body? Just give me two works of calcium, like the two things that calcium is doing in our body.
Makes our bone strong.
Yeah. Second thing, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, और मैंने इसको बहुत अच्छे से समझाया है तुम लोगों को. कैल्शियम एक हमारा बॉडी का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फंक्शन है जिसमें कैल्शियम इज वेरी मच रिक्वायर्ड.
No, ma'am, I don't know.
मसल कॉन्ट्रैक्शन में नहीं चाहिए.
Yeah, it's needed.
Okay, so I think I will take class. आज के लिए इतना ही काफी है. We will be finishing this chapter tomorrow. Only a small portion of this chapter is left. So we will finish this chapter tomorrow, and day after tomorrow we are going to start, I think, chapter number 21. And in this week, I think our syllabus will be completed. And if you have any one of you, if have any doubt related to any cycle, you can ask me anytime. Start revising these cycles, है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay then. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, beta.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.